Y'all, can I tell you about these Tecovas boots? I don't know if y'all know this, but these boots are handmade, high quality, stylish, and comfortable right out of the box. I know we buy everything online these days, but boots are something you really should get fitted for. And it just so happens Tecovas is based right here in Austin. So come shop with me at the Tecovas store on South Congress or the Domain. That's TECOVAS.com. Don't go gently, y'all. Today on CityCast Austin, we're going to have a little friendly team debate. Mount Rushmore has a bit of a conflicted past, but as we get closer to the 4th of July, we've got American history and democracy on the mind. I'm here with Hey Austin newsletter editor Kelsey Bradshaw and CityCast Austin producer Alyssa Rosenthaler to figure out who should be included in Austin's version of Mount Rushmore. We'd like to thank Tecovas, our exclusive launch sponsor. It's Wednesday, July 3rd. I'm Nikki Devon, and this is what Austin's talking about. The faces of 4 American presidents were carved into the granite of Mount Rushmore in the Black Hills of South Dakota between 1927 and 1941. Now, let me say here that Mount Rushmore sits on the land that was stolen from the Sioux Nation. And in a heartbreaking way, the monument sculpted by a man that was actually tied to the KKK was intended to be a tribute to American democracy. So we're going to focus on that last part, a tribute to the American democracy part, for today's chat. Now, the question is, who should be on Austin's version of Mount Rushmore? Now, let's say an Austin sculptor who doesn't have ties to the KKK is hired to carve 4 iconic faces into the side of Mount Bonnell. We're going to call this Mount Waterloo because before we were named after Stephen F. Austin in 1839, we were a little community called Waterloo. So we're carving Mount Waterloo. Who gets featured? Who is worthy of that kind of permanence? Now, I know who's on my list, but Kelsey and Alyssa are here to give me theirs too. And then after that, we're going to debate on who makes the final cut. There's going to be bribes. There might be trades. It could get ugly. It could get crazy. You're just going to have to listen. Kelsey, are you ready?
I'm ready. I've got a great list. I'm feeling very confident. I'm ready to go.
Okay, Alyssa, are you ready?
I'm so ready. I don't know. Okay, Kelsey sounds like she's got knives out.
I do.
I'm ready to do this.
All right, y'all, right out the gate, my candidate for the first slot of our Mount Waterloo is Barbara Jordan. Let me make my case. Listen, lawyer, educator. She was the first African-American elected to the Texas Senate after Reconstruction, first African-American woman to deliver a keynote address at the Democratic National Convention, first African-American woman to be buried in the Texas State Cemetery, first LGBTQ plus woman in the United States Congress. She lived with her boo for 20 years. In Austin, Texas. They died and lived and just grew old together. Like, the list goes on and on. Barbara Jordan is a staple in our community. Now, she wasn't technically born in Austin, but she lived most of her life in Austin. Barbara Jordan. She got a statue in the airport.
She's got a name. She got a street named after her.
She got a street in the school named after her.
Yeah. Listen, I heard this and I was like, oh my gosh, how do you put anybody against her? Such a strong woman, such a strong force and especially in Austin history. So many compliments. There's nothing I think you could say bad about her. But I'm going to suggest Angelina Eberly.
Ooh.
So Angelina Eberly, you probably have seen her statue on Congress Avenue. There's a statue of a woman in front of a cannon pointing towards the general land office. She had a boarding house that was on Congress or like near the general land office. And in 1842, then Texas President Sam Houston wanted to steal the archives of the Republic from the general land office. You know, she was one of those busybody neighbors. She saw what was going on. Was like, not my house. Went outside, saw there was a cannon She shot a 6-pound cannon at the general land office, and it alerted the whole town. And the town was like, "What is going on?" And she's like, "They're trying to steal our stuff." And they went after those people and got the archives back because of her, because she sounded the alarm.
What?
If that wouldn't have happened, I think we would have seen a different Texas. Sam Houston was trying to make Houston the capital of Texas. And I think this would have changed history. I think she probably preserved Austin as the capital for us. So
Angela said, not on my watch.
not on my
honey.
watch.
Not on my watch.
Original neighborhood watch.
Listen.
She was in it.
I just love women.
Yeah. Kelsey, who do you have?
Sorry, yes, I also have a woman. Another famous lady, Lady Bird Johnson, former First Lady, wife of Lyndon B. Johnson. But she's so much more than just the First Lady. She truly did so much for this country and so much for Austin in terms of conservation and beautification and all of her work with the natural world, with flowers and things like that. But specifically in Austin, she's not originally from here. But she spent the latter half of her life here and came back in 1969, and she spent the 70s leading Austin's Town Lake Beautification Project. And I did not know this until recently because I just haven't been paying attention. But like so much of why we love the trail and Lady Bird Lake is because of Lady Bird. Like there is a reason they changed it to her name. And she raised money for trees and shrubs. She added rest stops along the trail. She constructed, or she herself didn't construct them, but like terraces and a fountain at Auditorium Shores are thanks to her. And like, I just think the hike and bike trail and Lady Bird Lake really are, you know, if not the crown jewel, at least one of the crown jewels of this city. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of that is because of her hard work and her dedication. And also, we have the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center here because of her. So I don't know, I just really love that.
And for anybody who wants to know more about Lady Bird Johnson and why Lady Bird Lake is called Lady Bird Lake, you can go look at our article that Kelsey wrote.
That was a really good first round. We'll have to come back to these in a little bit and duke it out. Okay. All right. So then I'm going to move on to my second candidate. And you know what? Like, I think that this is going to probably come as no surprise to anybody that knows me. My second candidate is Leslie Cochran. And for those of you that don't know who Leslie Cochran is, Leslie was a local Austin legend. He was, for most of the time that he spent in Austin, unhoused. He cruised around the city dressed in women's clothing. Most of the time it was just a leopard print thong and heels. But while he was doing this, he advocated for police accountability. He advocated for unhoused population. He spoke out against drug abuse. This man ran for mayor 3 times. Mm-hmm. And he came in second in 2000. Like, he was an Austin icon. He would walk around the city with like political information, like on a piece of cardboard on the side of a shopping cart. If you like, at some point back in the day, you had an interaction with Leslie. Like, I mean, period. It feels like it's a no-brainer for me. And he happened, to extra push. He died on my birthday in 2012. So, I'm just saying, legend.
Well, and he's also so legendary. Like, he doesn't come from a position of power, right? Like, he wasn't the former first lady. He wasn't a senator or anything. But we all know who he is. And, like, Alyssa, she knows who he is, and she's from New York. Like, everyone knows who he is. And I think that's really special about Leslie.
He has that staying power.
Yeah.
He's just iconic in Austin. And honestly, like, one of the things that when I first arrived here in 2017, people were just like, when you think of keeping Austin weird, you think of Leslie. Like, Leslie was just like, be yourself, be authentic. So I think that's just like a great way to immortalize keeping Austin weird.
I definitely think for a long time, he was Austin. People came to the city to find Leslie. Mm-hmm. I used to have people ask me if I'd seen him. Like, they'd come ready to meet him and see him. That's, to me, legend, Austin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And March 8th is always Leslie Day. So if you're out there and you want to just remember Leslie, March 8th.
Yeah. Or send me birthday gifts.
Or send her birthday gifts.
Either way. And there's a plaque on 36 commemorating him, too.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So if we all agree that Leslie should at least get one slot.
Leslie's on there.
Okay. So we'll move on to candidate 3. So for candidate 3, I'm thinking my next pick is Doris Miller. So Doris Miller is the first Black recipient of the Navy Cross. He was a nominee for the Medal of Honor. He helped carry wounded sailors to safety during the attack on Pearl Harbor. And then he manned like an anti-aircraft gun, and he didn't have any training, but he like shot down some planes and saved a bunch of people. They say he shot down 1. He said he shot down 4 or 6. There's a Doris Miller auditorium on the east side. So that's going to be Doris Miller is quintessential Black Austin kind of person that we all know. That's my third pick.
Okay. No offense, but I have the best one. I did not know who this person was until I started searching for Austinites who aren't your Matthew McConaughey's for this podcast. And now I can't stop reading and thinking about him. His name is Willie Wells. He's considered to be one of the best shortstops in baseball history. He was nicknamed El Diablo. Historians believe he was born here in 1906. He grew up in South Austin, and his mom used to give him a nickel to take to the collection plate at church, but he would skip that. He would skip church and use it to get on a South Congress trolley to Dobbs Field, which is near Tom Miller Dam today. And that's where he'd watch Black baseball teams from all over the state. And he'd offer to carry their gloves and their bats. And so he was really, really into baseball, and he starts playing in the Negro League. He wasn't allowed to play for Major League Baseball as a Black man. He played for the Austin Black Senators. He played for the Houston Buffaloes and San Antonio Black Aces. He ended up playing for the St. Louis Stars. He played all over the country. He played in Mexico. He also pioneered wearing a helmet to baseball games. In 1939, he showed up to a game wearing a coal miner's hard helmet, without its light.
What?
Yeah. And everyone was like, what? But obviously very smart. And the helmet didn't catch on for another dozen years after that. And then the Major League Baseball didn't make batting helmets mandatory until 1971.
Yeah.
But
it was a long time.
He was doing that in 1939. I know I was only supposed to give a couple of facts, but I'm just obsessed with this man. He was a mentor to Jackie Robinson. And I think that's incredible. And he never got his due because, the white press didn't cover the Negro Leagues. And
Willie Wells.
He never got his due, and he died in Austin in the house he grew up in 1989. And he was finally inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 1997. And I just think he's the coolest dude, and we should give him his due, and he should be on our Mount Waterloo.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Whew.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay. Yeah. I almost feel like whoever I pick next is not going to stand up to that. But I was going to.
I mean, listen.
Now you're going to get it.
There are plenty of slots. Plenty of slots.
Well, I'm going to pick a different Willie.
Okay.
You all know who I'm talking about.
Hey.
Willie Nelson. I think he should be on the Mount Waterloo that we're picking because he was one of the reasons why we have modern music in Austin. What he did for Austin, he helped with the Armadillo World headquarters, which started in 1970, but he appeared in 1972 and it just took off. Everybody was like, who is this man? He's awesome. And his whole thing was bringing together hippies and cowboys, which was nobody was ever doing this. And it brought together the people who have differences, but can join together in the love of music. And I think he just keeps Austin weird. Again, this is my idea is we want to put the people on who are keeping our motto alive and trying to keep what Austin used to be back in the day. And it was weird. It was fun. It was funky. We played music. We loved each other. And I think Willie is just all about that. And putting him on there would just have that kind of that statement. We love weird. We love music. We love Willie Nelson.
I have to give it to y'all. I feel very strong about Doris. I really do. But I will say that y'all came through with the Willies. Before we share the rest of our candidates and debate about Mount Waterloo, let's take a quick break. And I'm back with Kelsey and Alyssa choosing the 4 folks who we'd want to have on our Austin version of Mount Rushmore, which we are calling Mount Waterloo. Now, final round. I knew this had to be a strong one, but so I had to again. I'm putting my best foot forward, and I'm going to say Ann Richards. Period. Full stop. Ann Richards,
such a good one.
Listen, second woman to ever be elected Texas governor, and there have only been 2. Second woman to ever be elected the governor of Texas. I feel like my favorite thing straight up about Ann Richards is that she was always coming for other politicians' necks, always holding them to task, always fighting against just like the normal boys, like Texas BS, like, giving all the money to people that don't deserve it. She wanted accountability in how we spent our money in the state. She was vocal. She was brass. Like I loved her so much. And she had that iconic quote that after all, Ginger Rogers did everything that Fred Astaire did. She just did it backwards and in heels. Like, I feel like Ann Richards is a mic drop, but I can give you bulleted reasons why, if you don't, if you need them.
She's a mic drop. I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't need to. She's Ann Richards.
Yeah.
It's Ann Richards.
Yeah.
I went to her inauguration just as a young, I think I was like, I want to say I was 16 or 15 or 7, somewhere in there. My friend's mom somehow got invited to her inauguration at Bar Mansion, which is, another Austin, like, beautiful, wonderful event center. She had her inauguration at Bar Mansion, and I remember I wore my little prom dress. I wore my prom dress from the year before. This little velvet, purple dress. I had my like James Brown pressed hair. And I go to this thing, and it's because my friend's mom, shout out to Aline, Jordan, and my friend Cassie. She was like, you girls need to see this. Like, she was like, you need to see what you need to be here for this moment. And I was a kid and I didn't get it, but I remember her walking in, and I remember seeing the hair, and I remember watching her work the room, and I remember the way she moved so confidently, like, throughout the room, that I didn't even have to be told that it was her. Does that make sense? I didn't even have to be told that that's why we were here. As soon as she walked into the room, I was like, oh, that, like, who is that? Like, you know what I mean? And that has imprinted on my brain, like, since that moment. So I'm just iconic. I was just like, oh, that's clearly the person that we're all here for. I like I don't know what's happening. But
you keep making all these strong points. I
was going to say my next one does not even compare. My next one is not even a person. I put Barton Springs Pool down for our 4th candidate.
How are they going to carve a pool into the side
love
of
you,
the
Kelsey.
mountain?
I love you so much.
I was trying to decide between like a grackle, a bat, etc. And then I figured I'd go for Barton Springs Pool. I was like, I was just thinking about like Austin's personality, and we're very into the outdoors, whatever. I don't know. I feel like I don't really have to explain the pool one. It's just like such a special thing that Austin has that no other city in Texas has. And
that's weird. You actually do not have to explain it. I get it.
Yeah. All right. My last choice. You're probably going to roll your eyes at me. Yeah, I'm picking Matthew McConaughey. Okay? I'm picking him. And people will probably, fight me for this, but he has done so much, not only for Austin, but Texas in general. He was born in Uvalde, and after the shooting, he was there helping the victims and the families and anybody who was involved with that, and trying to like raise funds. And he did the same for the El Paso shooting victims. And he created that we're Texas benefit that for the people who were affected by the winter storm Uri. He is constantly giving back to the community, and whenever like there's something that's going on that's focused on Austin, he is there. He is not only someone who lives here like some of the other celebrities. He is a part of the community, and he cares about Austin. And then also, like, he was in Dazed and Confused. Like, One of the most iconic Austin movies. Like,
you will get no pushback from me about
Okay.
Matthew McConaughey. Sir Matthew McConaughey, you will not get any pushback
Okay.
from me.
I was
that
waiting.
man, listen, that man is I keep saying this word and using this word, but he is quintessential Texas charm. I have all the
Yes.
time in the world for him. Even when it sometimes feels like he's just this side of creepy, I still love him. I will still like defend that man. I will defend that man in every single conversation.
I mean, yeah.
I love the way
you can't hate on him.
I love how he just still loves UT so much that he's just like on the sidelines as like, it's just like,
He's a professor there.
yeah.
He teaches film. He's like, I'm going to give back to all these people who want to be like me. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I like Matthew McConaughey just fine, but I don't think he's ready for our mountain yet.
Oh.
I think he's a little too. I think our list has some really incredible people on it.
Fair.
And I mean, did he have a cannon? Is he Barbara Jordan?
Yeah, right?
Is he the greatest shortstop of all time? I don't think so.
Okay, we're going to wait
Okay.
for him to mature.
Okay, so here's what I think. So we said we all agreed, it seemed, that we all agreed on Leslie. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we all agreed on Ann Richards. Maybe we didn't.
You mean Barton Springs Pool did not beat Ann Richards?
Yeah, sorry.
You
Ann
mean-
Richards, I agree.
I feel like now we're left with. I'll just give you who I think is vying for the last two spots. I think we're left with either of the Willies,
Okay.
Barbara Jordan, and Lady Bird. I think that's who we're left like picking between personally.
I think it should be Leslie, Ann Richards, Willie Wells, and Barbara Jordan.
Leslie and I want to say Willie Nelson. Sorry. Leslie and Willie Nelson and Barbara Jordan.
Dang, y'all.
I want to put
But
Willie
see,
Nelson
my
because
Willie-
he's so iconic with music.
My
and
Willie
like,
never got his due. Willie Nelson's
That's true.
due is all over the place.
That is very
Please,
true.
no one come for me. I love Willie Nelson as much as the next
We're gonna
girl in
get
Texas.
so many emails like, do not talk about Willie Nelson. He is a national treasure, and he is.
And he is.
He is. Sweet little baby Willie. We love him. Okay, hold on. Can we be very controversial?
Yes.
Because it's Austin, and we do what we want. And we're gonna buck in the face of rules. And I say we have both Willies, Barbara Jordan, Ann and Leslie.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
A nice
Done.
round,
Yes.
diverse.
And
group.
and how about this? Mount Waterloo. It's carved to look like they're all sitting in Barton Springs Pool.
there you go. Boom.
They're all
Boom.
swimming together.
Boom.
It's
That's
a lot of carving. I never said this was going to go
2080.
quickly. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys, you heard it here. Okay, we've got it down. We've got it down to 5. We're making our own rules. Leslie Cochran, Ann Richards, Willie Wells, Willie Nelson, and Barbara Jordan sitting in the Barton Springs Pool. That is our Mount Waterloo.
Yes.
From the team here on CityCast Austin.
Yeah.
So let us know who is on yours. If you think we missed the mark, we absolutely want to hear about that. Send us a text message or leave us a voicemail at 512-200-2227. That's all for today here on CityCast Austin. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Austin newsletter. We're going to be off for 4th of July tomorrow, so y'all have fun and be safe. We'll be back on Friday with a special holiday episode. Bye, y'all.